Hello, everybody. In this video, I'm going to give you some more detailed instructions for how to make your slides for the end of this week. These are for the project you'll see at the end of the HyperDoc. It's called Things We Give Up. And I'm just going to walk you through how to make this slideshow in this video. I'm going to ask that you watch the whole thing because I'm going to give you some important information here. So I'll share my screen with you. And first of all, just so you guys know, you're going to find all your information about this at the bottom of your HyperDoc. So if you're watching this video, obviously you found this link here, which is good. Then I do have some of the important instructions written out here as well at this link. So you can check those out after this video if you still have questions. So I'm going to recommend you make your slides on Google Slides because that's something that's included with your Chromebook. And you can find those in a couple places. What you want to do is find a page that has these dots in the corner here, Google Apps. I find them in my Drive. You'll see them in the corner when you have your email open. Wherever it is you find those, you're going to click on those dots and open up Slides. You want to make a new slideshow. Once you're there, you can click blank. It's got a plus in it, and you should have a brand new presentation. I'm going to let you guys figure out the themes you like. I'm going to stick with plain white right now just because I'm doing an example, but you pick a theme on the side here that you like. And then in terms of title, I do have something specific I want you to title your presentation. I want you to make sure that your name is in there somewhere. So in this case, for mine, I'm going to write Miss Edberg and then Things We Give Up. The reason why it is so important that your name is in this title up here is because I'm having you guys share these with me to turn them in. And I'm going to have a very hard time finding your presentation if your name is not part of the title. So make sure it says first name, last name, and then Things We Give Up. Be very specific there. Now the title of my first slide here, I am just going to say Things We Give Up. That's fine. If you want, you can say by your name. All right, so that could be a perfectly fine title slide. Now to make a new slide, I'm going to come here and click the plus. And I do have specific instructions for you guys for these next 4 slides. The first one, I want you to list a few items that families in the Grapes of Wrath are giving up as what you've read in the story. So a title you could use here, so I'm going to center it. Here we go. By the way, if you click these 3 dots, it's going to give you more options in your toolbar. So here's how I center. I'm going to title this slide, Things Families in the Grapes of Wrath Gave Up. All right. And I do ask you guys to list 3 of these things, just 3 things that are mentioned in the story that the families try to sell to make more money. Now, I'm not going to list 3 things because I want you guys to try and think of these on your own, but I'll list just one as an example. They mention giving up horses in the story. So that is something that I could put on my slide here. Now mine looks very plain. You guys can definitely play around with fonts. You can add pictures. Maybe you'd want to add a picture of a horse to spice it up a little bit, but the main requirement here is having those 3 things listed from the story. Now my second slide, this time I want you to think about yourself. The goal with this assignment is for you to make the connection between what we're experiencing with coronavirus and what families were experiencing during the Dust Bowl storms. Obviously, it's a different type of hardship to go through, but you know, in both situations, it's something that people have never experienced before, and they're having to make sacrifices because of it. So you are making a connection here. This time, instead of listing what families in the story are giving up, you are going to list 3 things that you have had to give up since the coronavirus started spreading. So this time you might title your slide Things My Family and I Have Given Up. You could go a lot of different directions with this. An example might be toilet paper. I know that's something a lot of us have had trouble finding. So maybe that's something you've given up or have had to use less of. Another example might be food, just in terms of things that you can't find in the grocery store anymore. I know there's a type of food I really like to eat, and it was not stocked last time I went, so I couldn't get any. So you might be having trouble finding some of the food that you normally like to eat in the grocery stores right now. You could also say school. That's another big one. We've had to give up school recently because of coronavirus. There are definitely many other things that you potentially have given up since we've started staying at home and quarantining. But you think of that in a personal way. What is something that you have had to give up recently? So those are your first two slides. Again, you should have 3 things listed for each. In fact, I'm going to amend this one here just as a visual for you guys. So you should have a second thing and a third thing as well. Again, dress these up any way you want. If you want to add pictures, if you want to add fun fonts or a theme, go for it. My third slide, this time we are going back one more time to the story. And you'll remember at the bottom of the second page of the story, they talk about not just having to sell or trying to sell their horses to make money, but also they talk about the experience that they would be giving up along with that horse. So I'm going to write at the top here, experiences and memories given up in Grapes of Wrath. That's an example of a title you could have here. Now, actually, I'm going to help you guys out with this slide. Basically, there is one specific experience or memory that is mentioned in the story, and that is the little girl who was playing with the horses and tying bows in their manes. They were saying basically, this is something that you're giving up along with the horses if you sell them. It's not a thing, but it's a memory of why they were important to your families, because the little girl really loved them and played with them. So an example that you would put on this slide is little girl playing with the horses. So if I compare my 2 Grapes of Wrath slides here, the first one, it's things that I'm giving up. The second one, I'm thinking of those things and going a little bit further. If I don't have that thing anymore, what is an experience or a memory that I also don't have anymore? So it's not a thing. It's not a thing I can hold or look at, but it's something that I might experience along with the item that I had to give up. Okay, so that is what you would write for Grapes of Wrath. Now your last slide, you're going to think of the experiences or the memories you might be giving up along with the stuff that you've given up since the spread of coronavirus. So I might title this slide, Experiences or Memories my family and I have given up. Now this can either go along with your second slide. So for an example with food, a lot of people have not been eating out at restaurants anymore. So eating out could be one that I put along with something that was on my second slide. Or for me, as a teacher, going to work. I can't go to work anymore the way that I normally would because of quarantines. That's an experience that I've given up. Given up getting to see all of you every day in person, which is a big deal. That's a huge change. But you can also think of something that doesn't necessarily go with an item you listed. For me, for example, seeing my family is something I've given up since the spread of coronavirus because my family lives in a different state. So I have not been able to see them for a while because of that. So that is the type of thing that goes on your last slide here. And when you're done, you'll see I've got 5 slides here. This is what I want to see from you as well. When you're totally done with that, you've got everything figured out, you've got all your pictures in there, you've checked for typos, then you're going to come in the corner and click share, this yellow button. And I want you to make sure that you share your slideshow with me. If you type in my name, then you should see my email come up here. And actually, either of these emails, I will get your slideshow. So it doesn't really matter which one you pick. But click an email and then click send when you're done. And then I'll see that your slideshow is ready to go. Email me if you have any other questions about this assignment, but I hope that tutorial made it a little bit more clear for you. Again, you can also look at the written instructions on the bottom of your HyperDoc if you want more information. Have a great day, everybody, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.